Hello. I know you are quite low today. Hello there. But it's because what I'm working on is already quite big. It doesn't fit on my desk anymore. And it's this catfish I'm making for my dad. And I wanted to start filming before I already have the body done. I'm about halfway. Kind of looks like a little hand puppet. But it's going to be a catfish. So I will meet you back after I finish the body, just because I did all of this yesterday except for like 2 rows that I just did right now. And so I really just want to knock out the body, even if that's the only thing I finish tonight. So I will see you back after that. If I have to hear that Beyonce song in a reel one more time, I think I'm gonna lose it. We get it. This isn't Texas. Just like how that's not a country song. So, anyways, I finished the fish's body. I'm a little upset that the color changing on the bottom is not straight, despite literally changing it in the same place every time, which is why this is straight. I might go back in with some of the same colored yarn and just go over the stitches to make it even. That's bugging me. This thing is huge. Huge. It, like, takes up my whole phone screen. And then the tail. Apparently I just never seen a catfish in real life, which is weird because my dad used to always make me go fishing with him when I was young. To not know that their tails are vertical, which I guess makes sense because how would they swim if they had horizontal tails? Unless they swam like a mermaid would, like, or a dolphin. This makes sense because it propels them. There's a hair on my arm. Okay, I think it fell off. Anyways, I really like the way the mouth was designed. I am so excited to just be able to take Instagram pictures holding it like this. Like, you know, like the trend that's going around to pose with fish. Or the one that I saw was posing with my crochet creations, like men pose with their fish. But in this case, it's going to be me posing with my fish, even though this is actually for my dad. And I put some white around the eyes with one of my felting needles. I'm surprised it didn't break. Those things are so flimsy. But I think this eye turned out better. I think it's going to be cute. So now I'm working on the fins. I finished these, are the lateral fins, so I guess that means the one on the sides. Right? And then this is gonna be, I think she's just calling them side fins. I'll have to put in who I got the pattern from. Yeah, just mini side fins. And I'm doing, it's called a picot stitch. It's probably French, which would make it picot or picou. But it's basically just a slip stitch, chain 3, and then slip stitch back into the same place to make it look ruffled on the edges. See? Well, technically that's the back. This is technically the front. It doesn't really matter though, because it looks the same on either side, which I guess is like the main point. So I had to make 4 of these, and this is the first one. The fins and the spots shouldn't take that long, honestly, because it's just a bunch of small pieces. This took me 2 days, and the pattern said not to stuff it a lot because catfish have kind of like a flat shape to them. So instead of it being like completely round, it's a little flattened. This feels severely understuffed, considering what I'm used to, which is stuffing things firmly. So I'm using this yarn from the Hobby Lobby. It's Yarn Bee, soft and sleek, low pill fiber. Yeah. Does it have a color? Oh, it's called Oatmeal, and it's just dark and light brown together. So I'm gonna get back to it with the fins, and then hopefully by the time I have them done, it'll just be time to assemble. So gotta get back with this. Okay, I am at the point in the project where I'm assembling everything, and I didn't see until just now in the pattern that I was supposed to do face shaping, which is just where you sink the eyes in. So this is what it looks like so far. I have all the fins and stuff attached, the barbells that were crocheted right into the face. I do have to make some separate ones though and add them on top and bottom. And then these are the gills, and I just sewed them on here along the line, but since they're kind of way too flappy for what I like, I did just a little more down this way where the pins are, a line of Elmer's Craft Bond. I love this stuff. It works so good for attaching yarn, but only if it's like kind of rough. Like this is a rougher kind of acrylic yarn. This one is really soft. The one that I showed you, the one called Oatmeal, this kind of texture of yarn does not work well with Craft Bond, so I might use it just to help me attach them, but I'm still going to sew on the spots that go on the fish, these that like go on the top of the fish. But to do the face shaping means I have to pull out my needle felting, which is fine because I can redo it, but I just feel like I wasted my time now. Plus, working with, according to the pattern, this fish's name is Lacanto. I'm assuming that's what his name is, unless that just means catfish in a different language, which it could, but it also could not. Never mind, I forgot what I was going to say. So let me do the face shaping, and then I will show you, hopefully, when I'm done. Then I'll have to find something else to make, because this video is going to be way too short otherwise. Also, apparently I wasn't paying attention when I was making pieces, because I ended up accidentally making a third gill. What do I do with it? I throw it away, I guess, or use it to stuff something else. Oops. Okay, let's do the face shaping. Okay, this is probably going to be pretty hard to show, because he's really big. Takes up my whole workspace. I took the nesting box, or the nest, out of the bird cage today, and the birds have been turds all day long. Screaming, just constant noise, and they would not stop. It was very, very annoying. Even now that I have them covered up, every time I make the slightest noise, they're over there chirping over nothing. So the way you do face shaping is, I might have to use a longer needle for this. You pick a point wherever you want to tie it off at. I'm going to pick right there. Forgive me if it goes off frame, okay? Because he's really big. You go, I like to go right above the eye. Leave a tail, because obviously you're going to tie it off. Go around the back of the eye, so this way, to the bottom. Poke it through the bottom. He's pretty, the pattern said to under stuff, so he's pretty squishy. So you're just going to bring your needle across to the top of the other eye. And pull it all the way through. On your starting side, make sure it goes behind the eye. It should disappear when you pull on it. It should just like sneak down back behind the eyes. And then around the back. Oh wait. It would probably help if I wasn't holding him sideways, because the top is not actually the top when you're holding him sideways. The top of the eye, which is what? Here. And then around the back side of the eye to the bottom. And then from the bottom, you're going to go to where you left your tail. It helps if you can do it from like the center of the project, but obviously his fin is here. So I went just to the side of it. And then just tug on these. Make sure they disappear behind the back of the eyes like they should. This one went in really far, so not that far. So just pull on them together, and over time acrylic, or I guess yarn in general, does tend to lose its, what word even is that? Like it stretches out, it relaxes. So if you do it a little tighter, a little more drastic than what you want to, over time it will relax. So don't think like, oh no, I did it too much, I have to redo it. No, just leave it. It'll relax eventually. Yarn, at least acrylic yarn, that's what I predominantly work with. I made way too big of a piece of yarn for this. Acrylic yarn does relax eventually. And then just tie it off. I like to go double knot. And then just use your, I almost said weapon. Use your weapon of choice to hide the tail. I'm gonna use a crochet hook, just because it's long enough to reach all the way up here. Oh, apparently only for one tail though. Both would be nice. The other day when I was at my friend's house, she asked me, or she didn't ask me, but she like made the remark of, I don't know how you have the patience to do that, in regards to, sorry, you can't even see, I am so sorry. Basically just pull the tails into the body. If you did not see anything, I just did. She asked me, or made the remark like I said, I don't know how you have the patience for that. And I was like, you know what, dude, honestly, sometimes I don't. Sometimes crocheting is so irritating and so I can't even talk. So frustrating that I just want to be done with it. That's why I don't ever have very many works in progress at once, because I just want to get them done. So I liked the eye detailing, but I honestly kind of like it more without the white around there. It just looks a little more realistic to me. So now I have to make the other barbells, which is what these are called. These are called barbells on a catfish. So I just need to see how big they are, or how long they are. Honestly, I probably could just guess. Okay, I found it finally. The short barbell with the shaded color, which according to the pattern is like the lighter color, which for me is the oatmeal one from Hobby Lobby. Chain 30 and leave a long tail. And then the long barbell is chain 50 and leave a long tail. And then instead of making 2 or 4 separate ones, you just stick it through the face. And I am going to adhere it with craft bond just to help it stay in. Because if not, it's going to be slipping and sliding. And we don't want that, so I'm going to do that real quick. So, start off with a slip knot. And then I guess I'll do the 31 first since it has less. I don't think the tail needs to be this long because you're just going to be sticking it through the face, but... So that's the... You can't see. I can't keep stuff in frame, I'm sorry. This is the chain 30. Very stretchy. And then do the chain 50. I actually lost count there at the end, so I don't know if there's 50 or not, but as long as it's longer than the other one, I'm sure it is, because I got to like 43 before I lost count. So, oh yeah, definitely way longer than the other one. So, these are our barbells. Okay. You just stick it through the face? How do you secure it? It's gonna be, honestly, this is gonna be hanging on the wall. So I doubt it really honestly needs to be secured. It says to put it between rounds 15 and 16 with 16 stitches between. In the picture, it does not show 16 stitches. It shows like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's not even... I'm just going to go with where I have it, because then at least it would be even. Just... It would probably help if I wasn't almost about to split a stitch instead of going between them. Would be nice. So you just pull it through the face like this. Make sure it's even. So, am I cutting off the tails on the ends? What do I do with this? That is really long. Okay, that's really long. What? Okay. Is she sure she meant chain 50? Let me do the 31 here on the bottom and see how that looks. Because if it looks better, I'll just take out the 51 and do 30. That's really long. I don't... Well, she's also in the pattern author, writer, designer, is using cotton yarn. I don't with cotton yarn. Acrylic yarn till I die. And I don't want to hear you saying, acrylic yarn's not sustainable, it's bad for the environment. I don't care. It's cheap, and it's widely available. And that's what matters to me. The 31 looks way better. I think what I'm going to do is do that. That looks so much better. Except for it still doesn't look even, does it? It is even though. It doesn't look even, but it is. I think for the tail, these tails, what I'm going to do is just cut them short, put a dab of Craft Bond on them, because even though Craft Bond is not good for adhering this specific type of yarn, it's very like silky, it is good. Voice tried to run away there. It is good for securing. So you can't see, lovely. So on here, this the end I just cut off, I'm just gonna put Craft Bond glue on it. Give it a little Craft Bond bath. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving it a Craft Bond bath, and then it should just stay secured. Okay. Aside from crocheting, I am very excited recently. It's gonna happen in the future, so I don't know how I'm excited for it recently, because that means in the past. Anyways, there's gonna be another Little Nightmares game. The birds are excited too, apparently. And it's gonna have 2 new characters. And I already forgot their names, but I think one of them is named Low. Like L-O-W. Or whatever. This is the fan art they've put out. I don't know words, I just live here. This is the concept art they put out for it. I think it looks really cool. I played through both the first and the second one. Yes, I did. On the Switch. And so I'm excited for the third one. Hopefully I have a job by the time it comes out, because even if I don't have a job, I'm buying it somehow. And then there's also going to be a Subnautica 2, technically 3, because Below Zero to me counts as the second one, because it literally is the second one. I'm excited for that too. Hopefully it delves more into the world of the architects and not... Oh, I don't know. It probably won't, because the interview that I watched with the... What'd you even call him? A developer? Or the producer or whatever of the game? said that it's taking place on a different planet with a similar, like, not atmosphere, it's underwater. What would you even call that? A different planet with a similar theme, I guess you could say, of like plant life. So it's not 4546b, which the first and second game take place on. It's going to be a different planet. I don't care what it is, I'm excited for it. I like the first Subnautica better. I like how Riley didn't talk. That was my favorite thing. Because you, in no way, knew how Riley was feeling at all during the game, and I like that. He just made noise. He made grunting noises when he jumped. I like that. I like how you didn't get to hear from him. But I also kind of like how I'm just going to take this out. This is a long one and do 30 to put on the top as well. I also like how in the second game, Below Zero, they decided to go in a completely different route and brought back Marguerite. I unraveled the wrong side. Hold on. Marguerite, I like, she has a very interesting story, how she killed the Reaper and used his body to survive, and now she just lives on the planet. That's pretty cool. I don't like how they had to bring sexuality into it, though, with, Robin's the one that's alive, right? Sam is the one that died, the sister, making her a lesbian, or at least bisexual. That was so unnecessary to the plot of the game. And as someone who doesn't support that stuff, it kind of turned me off from the game, even though I still, played it and finished it. I could have loved it so much more if that had not been there. 3, 4. And it's not like it was a big part of the game. It just was unnecessary to me. What? That it didn't need to be there. Because it was not part of the plot or anything. Also, I think it's funny how they were trying to say that Sam didn't die from negligence, which is what Altera, the company, is blaming it on, even though she literally did. Why? I don't understand why this won't come apart. The whole point of a chain is that it's really easy to take apart. What the heck? Both sides of the chain is not the correct one? What in the world? Hold on. Okay, I finally got it. I'm just pick the whole thing apart and do it again. Okay, so 30, and then we'll attach it. Okay, it doesn't say where to place the front one, or the one on top, besides just put it in the face, so I'm just gonna guess. Like right in the middle of the face. Right in the middle of the face, apparently. So I'm not gonna be able to do this like this, but it's okay. As long as it's even, I don't really have to see what I'm doing, I guess. I'm giving you a piercing, Lacanto, okay? Does that look even? Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. Okay. My chain is kind of loose. No, I think I'm going to go higher. On the face. Sky. My birds, like I said, have been making noise all day. I don't know what the deal is. Like, they forget how to function when the nesting box is not in there. The nesting box doesn't stay doesn't stay in the cage all year round. So I don't know why they, like, forget how to function when it's not in the cage. He is so big. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing to these longer tails. Cut them off and give them a craft bond bath. He was really fun to make. This fish, Lacanto, very fun to make. The body took me, I worked on him for give or take about 6.5 hours the first day, just the body, and I got a little over halfway, and that was in between, oh, my nose, having to eat dinner. This is for my dad. If it was for anybody other than my dad, I would not be scratching my face while I'm making it, just for hygiene wise. But my dad is my dad, so he's gonna get a boogie fish. But a little over 6.5 hours the first day on just the body, and I got a little bit over halfway. Oh. So I got about, I would say I got about here on day 1. Day 2, I did the rest of the body and the tail. The tail is made onto the body, so I didn't have to sew it on separately. So I would say this is intermediate. Maybe even just for the way the mouth of the fish is shaped, that this is leaning on even advanced crocheter. So, I mean, if you're up for a challenge, go ahead. He wasn't like hard to make, but he was definitely challenging. Not to me, but I'm saying to the average person who has not been crocheting for 5 years like I have. Someone who's just starting out probably would struggle with this just a little bit. And then, when I make sure it's even, like this, I'm going to just put also craft bond here and here to try to secure it to the face. I feel like I'm making a Subway sandwich now, how the mayonnaise never wants to come out of the bottle. Subway sounds really good. I might have to get Subway tomorrow. There was something else I want to talk to you guys about, and now I can't remember what it was. Other than me still not having a job, I'm going to take a resume over to Costco tomorrow. I talked to someone there on the phone, and she said, apply again and bring in a resume. And I was like, yes ma'am, I'll be there tomorrow. So, I just need something. Whatever God has for me, that's what I want. So, after this, I just have the spots. There are 10 of them. This spaghetti mash right here is the dots for the body. So, after this, he will be done, and I'm really looking forward to posing with him like most guys do when they fish on Instagram. I'm very excited to take my thumbnail picture, which is not going to be done in the dark. I'll probably take it outside maybe, or at least with the big light on. And then he looks really good. He is really big though. He is I have my ruler backwards. Hold on. Whatever 12 plus 6.5 is. So, almost 19 inches long. Dang. Okay, so I'm going to attach the spots and I'll see you back when I'm done. So I was actually doing some research on Costco as a company after I applied there. And I read that their employee retention rate, which if you don't know what that is, that just means how often employees stay at the job once they get hired there, is 94%. That is really high. That means people hardly ever quit their job once they get hired at Costco. And the article that I was reading said that it's because Costco offers full coverage benefits even to part-time employees, and it's just a really good company to work for. And I was like, that is so cool. Now I want to get on there even more. You know, if that's like actually truly the case. Honestly, I'm going to attach these while I talk. I might just try Craft Bond and see if it works alone. And then tomorrow, If they are not attached, I will go in and sew them down. So which means just for now, I'm going to put glue on them a lot. Because I'm gluing them to the surface that the glue likes to stick to, which is a rougher acrylic. So I have the feeling that it might work. So I'm going to try it. I hope my dad likes this. My dad has always liked to fish. And he used to make me go when I was little, and I hated it, and I still do. But sometimes I get the urge of just like, I want to go fishing. And then I take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask me what's wrong with myself. It's just boring. And I'm a person that likes to read and, you know, just kind of sit around. But fishing to me, because you're not guaranteed to catch anything. So if you're going just for the sake of going, what you're really doing is murdering worms. Or whatever, your bait of choice. I would probably use power bait. Because I want to touch no earthworm to get it on a hook. Also, that's the thing. I don't like touching fish. They're slimy. They're slimy. Although, I will say, my nose is bleeding. I'm going to try to not let you see it. Because I don't have tissue in my room. So I'm just going to have to, the whole time that I'm doing this. My pleco, my plecosimus. How did I get from talking about working at Costco to fishing? Besides making the fish. I wasn't done talking about Costco. We'll circle around to that. My plecosimus, so my bottom feeder fish, I'll put a picture of him right here. No, don't turn off laptop, you're part of my light source. Got stuck in one of his aquarium decorations, and I had to rescue him. And luckily his fin grew back. His fin got really torn up. I didn't know fish could regrow fins like that. And that's not what I meant to say. That I thought, you know, I didn't want to touch him, but he needed help, so I had to set that aside. Not liking to touch fish. I was pleasantly surprised that my pleco is actually not slimy. He's not. His, like, tummy area is, because he is, oh my gosh, like it's happening. Because what's that gonna do? Because he's a bottom feeder, and the reason they're slimy is to help protect them from... Okay, I'm gonna go take care of that really quickly. That's disgusting. But the reason they're slimy is... Okay, hold on. Okay, my pleco is not slimy like I thought he would be, but his tummy area is... I'm sorry you had to see that. That's disgusting. Hopefully I will have remembered to put in a trigger warning, even though it's not my responsibility to guard you from your triggers. I will just this once. He is not slimy except for on his belly, because plecos are bottom feeders, and the slime coat helps protect their scales in nature from rubbing against rocks and like ripping their scales off their body. So I was pleasantly surprised to find my pleco is not slimy. He is not a slimy boy. If he's even a boy. It could be a girl, but for the sake of argument, we're gonna say the pleco is a boy. Okay, what I was saying about retention rate at Costco, so like I was saying, retention rate is how often employees stay. Then obviously the opposite would be a high turnover rate. You want to know what company has a high turnover rate? Walmart. The turnover rate there is 2 weeks, which means that from the time somebody gets hired there, they last 2 weeks before they quit their job. That's awful. I made it 2 weeks at Walmart. So it's definitely true. So I think Costco would be a good company to work for. Plus I could have Costco pizza for lunch. Who doesn't like Costco pizza? Costco pizza and the Maya Cinema hot dog are my favorite foods on this earth. Even though Maya Cinema hot dog makes my stomach hurt sometimes, I'll risk it, I don't care. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Thank you for listening to Sky chirp in the background because he can't mind his own business. And I will see you back with Lacanto. Okay, just kidding. I'm not done talking yet. I want to talk a little bit more about finding a job. Since I left Smart and Final, which is where I worked before, I have applied to roughly, or reapplied to, 20 places. I've interviewed at 4, which technically one was another Smart and Final location, so I'm not going to count that one. I mean, I guess I will, because I interviewed there. A different location is not the same one I worked at, so I guess I should. So I have applied at 20 places, counting the ones I reapplied to. I interviewed for like right after I left Smart and Final, I interviewed at Michael's for a seasonal cashier job. Didn't end up hearing back from them. Shocker, I know. And then after that, I interviewed at the other Smart and Final. There's 5 here in town, so I interviewed at the one second closest to our house. That guy was supposed to... I need to stop being a coward and call him back. He's waiting on HR to say if they can rehire me. I think he really liked me. Because when I was leaving, he let me look around the store there, and I said, I really hope I can get rehired. He's like, yeah, me too. And I was like, oh, I feel special now. And I haven't heard back from him. He said that if I called back again, the last time I called back, and he hadn't heard anything from HR, he was going to give me her information. And then he didn't, so I guess I need to call him tomorrow. So, after that, I interviewed at PetSmart, which is literally right up the street from where I live, because that was like one of the last places I thought I would enjoy working, because it's weird, I'm stuck in this place of like, I was raised and just believe within myself that I can do anything I put my mind to, which technically means there are limitless possibilities, for my life. And so I'm stuck in this weird place of not knowing what I want to pursue, but knowing what I don't want to do. Like, there are businesses that I would not apply to, even if they offered me a job, because I don't want to work there. Like, I don't want to work in fast food. I don't want to work at McDonald's. I did my very first job interview when I first started looking back in 2019. Was at a Subway, though. I love Subway. And I didn't get hired there, probably because I didn't have a food handler's license, which they're not hard to get, I just didn't have when I was right out of high school. So after I interviewed at PetSmart, and they had basically made it sound like I was hired because they were willing to work with me on getting more hours, like cross-training me not only in grooming, which you have to go through like the grooming academy for, to also let me do cashiering, because that's what I have all my experience in, to also train me to take care of the animals, to like scoop the fish. And I was like, oh my gosh, to God, because he's my only friend, Lord, this sounds so promising. They're making it sound like I'm basically going to start next week. And then, since I was interviewed by both the grooming manager and like the store manager, which, first of all, the store manager is like probably not even older than I am. Maybe by a year or two. Or he needs to drop his skincare routine, because he looks like a baby. He's got baby face. His name's Jeremiah. I am not left-handed, and my arm doesn't bend that way. Anyways, I called and asked for him, and he's like, oh, that's who's speaking. And I was like, okay, this is Larissa. I don't know if you remember me, even though you just interviewed me like 3 days ago. And I didn't hear anything back, so I was wondering if you had yet to make a decision, because he said he had some other interviews to do. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, we must have got confused on who was calling who, but we decided to go with somebody else. That was one of the last places I genuinely wanted to work, and from there my motivation just went. So after that, I thought, well, one of the only places that I would want to go into that I have experience for is Sizzler, which is like my brain just sputtered, a restaurant, and they sell like surf and turf, steak, like, how would you even describe Sizzler? They have like a salad bar, a soup bar, even though it only has 3 options. I don't think you can call that a soup bar. They have a salad bar, like I said. They sell steak and like seafood. But it's one of the places where like you pay as you come in, so when you're done you can just leave. And so obviously they have cashiers, and I was like, well, I could do that. and I interviewed there, which that was really weird. If you have stuck through all this rambling, I just want to say God bless you. Genuinely, because this is just stuff that's been on my mind for a long time, and it's coming out right now. The interview process at Sizzler was very strange, because first I just wanted to turn in an application, and I was dressed like a hobo to turn it in, and the lady's like, well, can you just have a seat over there? And I was like, why? And she came back out and said, like, oh, we're really busy, we can't interview you right now. And I was like, I don't want to interview right now. I want to just turn in my application. But I that's not what I said. I said, okay, that's okay, I can call back tomorrow. And she's like, oh yeah, can you? And I was like, yeah. So I called back tomorrow, the next day, and I was like, I was told, just to call and ask if I can come in for an interview because yesterday I turned in an application. And the manager was just like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, what does that mean? And I was like, do you want me to come at a specific time or like a specific day? And she was like, you can come anytime between today and Thursday. I was a little baffled because that's a lot of time. They're open from 11, they serve lunch and dinner, so from 11 to 9 over the span of 3 days, they want me to just come whenever I feel like it. I didn't like that. And I knew that if I sat and let the nerves kick in, I wasn't going to go at all. So I got off the phone, changed my clothes, printed out a different resume to bring with me just in case they had somehow lost my first one. And I went down there and I asked the guy, I don't even think I read his name tag. You are supposed to be sleeping, Chloe. I don't even think I read his... Anyways, I was like, if I don't change my clothes and go right now, I'm not going to go back. So I put on a nice sweatshirt, not like a hoodie, like an actual like sweatshirt, with like a cool like knitted design on the front. And I went down there and I asked the guy, the manager, I was like, I was told I could just come in and ask for an interview. He's like, yeah, go pick a booth over there, I'll be right there. Let me, what's your name? Let me find your application. And I was just like, why can't all businesses make it this easy? Not, like interviewing you just whenever you feel like showing up, but even just like giving you an answer. Like I applied to a medical courier position for a place right up here by the house. They sent me an email saying no, and I was like overjoyed because that is so much more preferred than just never hearing back from a company ever. Even if you are trying to contact them, I have called HR at Walmart so many times and they never pick up the phone. I don't think I would hate working at Walmart, but I can't work there or work there again if they don't ever pick up the phone. And people, like the employees there, have been telling me, oh, come in person and just go back there and talk to her. And I was like, first of all, I don't work here. I'm not just going to barge myself into the HR room and demand to talk to her. That's not how it works. I want to talk to her on the phone. I don't want to go down there in person every time I need to talk to her. Plus, every time I have been there in person, save the first time I met her, her name is Mary, she's not there. And so I don't know what the deal is, but Walmart is an impossibility to get hired at, apparently. The first time I got hired there was because one of the customers when I worked at grocery outlet really liked me, and she's like, I want you to work with me at Walmart. I'll pay you more. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't even last there, so okay. I got all his spots on. He's a mess. They're a little uneven, but I like it. They look like they're like wrapping around the body this way. So tomorrow I will let you know how he turns out. This pattern was very, very easy to make. Oh, I was going to show you the mouth. The way that this is formed, this is really smart. I need to see if this girl I got the pattern from has an Instagram, so I can see who this really smart person is. The way she did, so most amigurumi, which is what this is, the Japanese word for a stuffed doll, most amigurumi is made working in the round, which means you put your stitches into a magic ring, and you work in spirals. This was started from a chain 7, and you work around the chain in circles. And then what she did was, when you get to this round where the mouth is, the lips, this back loops only round, which is what makes these little bumps here be raised. So you work in back loops only, or front loops only, so it leaves the back loops on the inside exposed. And then you do one round normally, and then you work in the back loops only and the back loops only that were left from the front loops only round, and it like pinches the mouth together on the inside so you can fold it in like this and make catfish lips. And I've never seen that done before, and she's brilliant. I'm pretty sure this pattern was written by a lady. Crocheting is mostly done by women. So, Lacanto, you're gonna look great. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. That's what I read on the pattern, but honestly, I probably wasn't paying attention when I read it. Anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble. Maybe I will keep this video just the fish, because I just talked for 18 minutes straight. So, ew, I just pulled the Chick-fil-A lady meme. That meme is so, so weird. Okay, I'll let you know tomorrow how Lacanto came out. Hello. It is the next day.
Brutus! My goodness! You want to say hello? Okay. Come here. Come here. Say hello.
Here.
Say hello. Hello.
Can you head bob? He's got food all over his face because lately he doesn't want to eat solid food or worms, so he has to eat baby food so he'll still get nutrients while he is being stubborn and refusing to eat, huh? Okay, moment of truth for the fishy. Oh wait, hold on, let me put the camera back in focus, would be nice, huh? They all seem like they stuck pretty well, which I'm surprised for because of the texture of this yarn. So I'm going to take the pins out and hide the tails, and then that should be the end of the video. Thank you for listening to me ramble last night. I appreciate each and every one of you more than you probably think I do. So let's get to hiding these tails. Okay, hopefully my phone will stay right there. Something about Brutus's scales irritates my skin, and it makes it itch so badly sometimes. So I'm just going to use a regular old, not little face, tapestry needle and craft scissors, and take out all the pins. I like to use T-pins. Oh, I have to take these out too. The gills I'm not worried about sticking because it's the same type of the rougher acrylic. So these I know are stuck, which is probably why I can't get my pins out. It's stuck on my fingernail. No, oh my gosh. What the heck? It's stuck on my fingernail. Okay, that was odd. Okay, because they are pretty much secured with the glue, I'm not going to worry about like trying to secure them with the tail. This is honestly just going to be hanging on the wall, so it's not like it's going to endure any rough playing with. So I'm not, like, obviously I don't want them falling off on the floor, but it's not going to be played with rough enough that the pieces are barely like going to be hanging on for dear life. So I'm just going to put them all through, and then I'll go through at the end and cut them all off. So I think I'll tell you a story. When I was like 5 years old, I was in the annex of the church we were going to, which if you don't know what an annex is, it's just a fancy room. It's just a fancy term for like a dining hall. And the door there that they had in the bathroom of the annex was not on like a spring mechanism to close slowly, because it was this heavy wooden door. And so one time when I was in the bathroom, obviously when I came out, I was swinging my arms like from front to back, and I caught my finger in the door, my middle finger here, and it bent my finger back onto my hand, basically, so they had to re-straighten my finger. And the doctor didn't set my finger when it happened, so my joint here fused, and so I cannot bend my joint on this finger anymore. It's just like this forever. I can do it manually, but it starts to hurt at about there. But it hasn't affected me at all, not even in like playing my clarinet or anything, all throughout school. So sometimes I even forget it's like that until I see it, which is what happened just now, what reminded me of it. But I don't even know if, at this point, if it can be re-broken and then like reset. And if it could, honestly, I wouldn't, because it doesn't affect the way that I live, you know, day-to-day life. It hasn't affected any of the jobs that I've had, cashiering. Plus, I'm right-handed, so it doesn't really get in the way of much. This is my left hand, so it doesn't really... If I would have known I wasn't going to use the tails, I wouldn't have left so much of them, because now I'm wasting all this yarn. Alright, this is the last one. Okay, this big one is the only one acting like it doesn't want to stay, so I might have to re-glue this one and pin it back down. But then again, it's just going to be hanging on the wall. But I still want it to stay together. I don't know, I'll think about it. So that's this side. I don't think it'll fall off, but just to be safe, just gonna... That is way too much glue. Hold on. I put way too much. What do I do? Obviously I'm gonna wipe it off, but like with what? A Q-tip, I guess. That's all I have within arm's reach. A clean, new Q-tip, okay? And just... Okay, I was just outside and now my glasses are transitioned. So here it is, final product. I think that he came out really good. So this pattern was $7.50 on Etsy, and it'll be linked in the description. Lacanto sucker mouth catfish. Came out really super cute. So thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me ramble, and I will see you probably quite soon, because I'm going to make a birthday gift for one of my mom's students at work, because I work there. So I will see you next time.